All right, we're back. I got myself
Yes.
some cherry Pepsi this time.
What?
Hopefully, it'll last longer.
When did you drink anything other than Mountain Dew?
It happens every, once in a while, maybe like twice a year.
Interesting. Well,
I gotta stop the shaking every once in a while.
yeah.
Well, since we took a little break, why don't we go ahead and do our number threes?
Okay, number 3, men and women. Okay, for me, men's the phenomenal AJ Styles.
Okay.
I can just say AJ Styles for predominantly anything. It'll pretty well be accepted because he's phenomenal.
Right. He's been known as the phenomenal one since forever.
Yeah, since like 2000.
Yeah, that's about how
Yeah.
long he's been in there for. Because he's a TNA original. Like
Yes, he is.
he was in TNA when it was
He
still
was.
NWA.
Yeah, he was a baby face, like no facial hair.
Right.
I showed my wife, and she was like, "No, it's not." I was like, "Yeah, it is."
He didn't have the
No, it's not.
He didn't have the soccer mom hair either.
No, he did not. Short do like that. Well, shorter than this, and yeah,
Yeah,
she did not believe me.
I prefer to stay with the Stone Cold Steve Austin look myself.
Yep. Yep. My
Except
head's too
mine is by
lumpy for that.
choice.
Right.
You're not gonna like my number three.
Oh,
You might get angry at my number three.
Who is it?
John Moxley.
Yeah, looking at my list, that's wrong.
You're gonna be even more angry whenever you hear my number two, but we'll save that for later.
I bet my number 2 is your number 2.
Maybe. Because you already know who my number one is.
Yeah, we know. We know. So that's got me thinking. We got the same number 2.
All right. So my number 3 woman would be Sasha Banks.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I know PW Insider put her up at number 1.
Mm-hmm.
And I am not a fan of babyface Sasha Banks.
Neither am I.
Because she's got this feud going with Carmella right now, and it's a heel dynamic.
Yes.
Sasha Banks does not know how to play a cocky babyface.
Right. She's bad at it, but I tried to look past some of that. Like when I talk Sasha, I think about the fake kayfabe neck injury where every 2 words she said, oh, man.
I know, that drove you nuts.
Horrible acting. I can't believe she got put in a movie after that.
Well, no, it was just The Mandalorian. You know, Disney's biggest thing going right now.
Right. I don't know.
All right. Well, then how about we go with tag teams of the year then?
All right.
So how many did you do? I got 5 here.
Okay, I just did 3.
Okay.
I did
I think our top, well, one of them probably isn't, but 2 out of the 3 I'm sure are probably the same.
Yes.
Just
so we
different
just want to go
order.
Yes. So I will go. Actually, you go. You do your 5, 4, 3, and then I'll do.
Okay. All right. So for number 5, I did Undisputed Era.
Okay.
Undisputed Era deserves everything.
They do. They do.
One of the greatest factions of all time.
Yes.
My number 4, Sasha and Bailey. There seems to be a theme here with number 3. My number 3 is FTR.
Okay, they should have been higher, but I'm just glad knowing you that you included them. That makes me feel good.
Yeah, I like, as they call it, the flippy shit.
Yes, the flippy shit. Knock that
I
flippy
don't
shit off.
I don't like it all the time,
Just sprinkle it.
but there is something to be said about the people who do it and do it well, like Ricochet
Yes.
or Will Ospreay.
Yes.
However, that match with Okada and Will Ospreay
Mm-hmm.
was a match.
Okay, good.
Will Ospreay did not fly like you would expect him to.
Mm-hmm.
And having B Priestley there at ringside with him is a whole new dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
All right, what about your number 3?
My number 3, Paige and Omega.
Okay, yeah. Let's see that. Yeah, that one should have been higher.
Yeah, but when I make arguments for 1 and 2, you'll see my attempted rationale to why they had to fall to number 3. So I had my immediate 1 and 2, and then Paige and Omega, hands down. They wrote a beautiful story in 2020. They kind of were a team. They kind of did their own things, but it still all made sense. They told a great story. So they're my only non-traditional tag team.
Okay. What about your number 2?
My number 2 is like your number 50 or whatever. The Golden Role Models, Sasha and Bailey. Yeah. 4.
Number
Okay.
4.
I thought they did a phenomenal job. I love them as heels. They were the heels that as a kid I would have absolutely hated them. I would have beat the crap out of their action figures. They were amazing at
Awesome.
making you hate them.
Mm-hmm.
They did their jobs. I loved them in 2020. And when you or anyone out here in Fifth World thinks that I'm giving them too much love, it's based off of kind of what they did as the Golden Role Models.
I can't give you any backlash for that. They were really good.
They were. I thought they did great. Some of their matches were hit or miss here and there, but overall, no one touched either of those two. Yeah. So who's your number 2?
The Young Bucks. I know you don't like them.
Nope.
I don't necessarily like them either. However, they are phenomenal in that ring.
They are.
They had some of the best matches of the year. All of my top 3 had fantastic matches this year.
Yes.
My number 1, I'm sure you probably already figured out, it's Hangman and Omega.
Yep. I knew.
And I'm sure that I've figured out your number 1.
Yep. FTR, baby. So let's go ahead and darken that out since we covered that.
Yep.
So yeah, I don't think there was anything too alarming in there that would make us seem like we need any type of So I think we're doing all right.
Yet.
Yeah, not yet. Yeah.
All right, so now again we're sitting here at the most exciting time of the year.
Yep.
We got the Royal Rumble, and then we're probably gonna go into Elimination Chamber after that.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of matches do you think that we're going to have at Elimination Chamber? Who's going to be put into the Elimination Chamber? What titles? I mean, not who specifically.
Okay, I have a bad feeling with the whole Roman Pierce thing that's going on, that it's going to be getting him out of defending it in some sort of match. Hopefully it's just story and momentum that gets us there for it, and he actually has to defend it. But as far as the chamber itself, Um, both heavyweight titles for sure. Um,
So I don't think both heavyweight titles. I
well,
think Roman won't be in the Elimination Chamber. I think Drew
right.
will,
Yes.
um, unless Goldberg wins, because Goldberg's not going in a chamber.
No, no.
And
Um,
if they even consider putting him in a chamber, they they need to just quit now.
yes. So ideally, I would like those two, the two heavyweight titles and the women's title, all out there. I think that makes an
With
excellent.
which women's title? Both?
No. The one that Oscar's got, which would
Raw.
be Raw. Okay. Um, yeah, hers for sure. I don't see. Unfortunately, I don't. Kind of going back to like what you said with Carmella, I see hers being a petty match. Just there's
Yeah.
no momentum there. Um, and
Hopefully they're
especially,
done after Royal Rumble.
I would hope so. But Asuka, I can see just kicking butt in an elimination chamber match. Um,
Now,
I,
what does that do with the women's tag team championships? Then they kind of shot themselves in the foot.
right, right. So one thing that I do like is the idea of putting 3 or 4 tag teams into an elimination chamber match. I like that. But it seems like they're just letting all the blood run out of the tag team division. So
Oh, there's yeah, no, it's all gone.
yeah,
There's no
so
blood left.
yeah, so I don't think I'm gonna get that because was it the New Day and the Usos last year, the year before? They put on a phenomenal match in the
Mm-hmm.
Elimination Chamber. I don't know. They just can't do the tag division right.
Well, they
And
keep breaking everybody apart. Like, why did you break up the Iconics just to put them in separate tag teams?
right.
It
Yes.
makes no sense.
Yes.
At least they've got the Riot
Peyton,
Squad back.
yeah, Peyton and Lacey just don't. No, it don't work.
Lacey just doesn't work.
Yeah. I
Don't
like
even
Lacey.
don't even get me started on this Ric Flair crap.
Yeah, I like her look. I like the Southern Belle thing, the old school look. I like it. I don't like her voice. I think she's a very pretty woman. I don't. I think she's phenomenal in the ring, but there's just something missing. Whether it's
I think she's a bit green yet.
she is, but as far as some of the women wrestlers, I like her more than I'd say some. I'm not going to say most. So I think there's great potential there, but just the story, it, the stories don't work, and I think the character needs a complete injection.
The character needs to be completely thrown out. I don't like the Southern Belle thing at all. She's a Marine.
Mm-hmm.
She's a Marine.
Right.
Why have they not capitalized on that?
I don't know.
Like, she should be like,
I think their attempt to
America.
I think their attempt to capitalize on it was turning her face, which was
Because she was still Lacey Evans.
right.
She was still the Southern Belle.
Yeah. As a heel, I thought she was phenomenal when she first got the call up. When she was in NXT and got the
Yeah.
call up, she was good. And then once they started tinker with her, it was like,
Well, they put her in that crap with Baron Corbin and Seth
yeah,
Rollins and Becky Lynch.
yeah, yeah.
There is no reason why a mixed tag team match for both the WWE and Raw Women's Championship should ever main event a pay-per-view,
Mm-hmm.
because that's a gimmick match. It should be a comedy match.
Right.
That's not a legit match.
Mm-mm. So back to Elimination Chamber. I'm okay, like I think I envision that whatever the story is with Pierce gets Roman out of defending at Elimination Chamber somehow.
Maybe.
Maybe.
What I see is that he's uh, Adam Pierce is going to get like beat on or something within the next week or so, and he's
Right.
just not going to be medically cleared. Or after, I mean, we're right now it's 8:30, so we're about a quarter of the way into SmackDown. We're not watching it
Right.
right now, and we're probably not missing very much.
No,
Um,
not at all.
but what I'm thinking is that somehow Adam Pierce is not going to be able to compete in that match,
Right.
whether it's tonight or next week or at the pay-per-view itself, and they're going to replace him with Kevin Owens or somebody else.
Yeah. So that's kind of what I've got. I like the top two men's titles, both tag titles, and I'd be okay most cases if it was both women's titles, but I know it doesn't work out like that. So there's just a certain block of time we have for it. Otherwise, it's like a WrestleMania 2-day event. So
What I would like to see is the WWE Championship with Drew McIntyre, as well as the Raw Women's Championship. Um, who would be in that match? I don't know. Honestly, I think it'll be the SmackDown Women's Championship, but not the Raw, because
yeah,
you got to get the titles off of Asuka and Charlotte somehow.
Right. But if there is one person that can do double duty, it's Asuka.
She's proved it.
Yeah.
She proved it last.
She's phenomenal.
It was a SummerSlam, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we'll get off of the subject of SummerSlam.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I think that Big E will defend the title in the Elimination Chamber. And what I would like to see is a unification of the tag team championships.
Yeah, I'm. Yeah, because I think probably the lack of blood they're interjecting into it, the lack of tag teams, you narrow it down and kind of start to rebuild it some.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. It's the lack of tag teams that's the problem. They've broken everybody apart, which, you know, when there's not a pandemic going on, that might have been okay.
Right.
But now you broke everybody apart and there's nobody to replace them.
Right.
There's like 2 tag teams on Raw right now. And one of them has the championships.
Right.
So, of course, we're going to get like a year-long feud because there's nobody else there.
And we've already had plenty of feuds that lasted too long. Dominic Mysterio, Seth Rollins, Buddy Murphy, any of that stuff. I'm over it.
I am so glad that I have not seen any of that for a while.
Oh, it's been beautiful.
Seth Rollins has been on paternity leave.
Yep.
Which, that's another thing that happened.
No, wouldn't it be maternity leave?
No, because maternity leave is the woman.
Yeah, but he's married to the man.
Fair.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you got me there.
I did.
And the funny thing is
I know.
I got the man shirt on.
You do. All right.
Well, we're starting to get down to the last little bit here. So how about we do the, let's see, most improved and feud of the year.
Okay, most improved. So, most improved, I kind of did 3 different layers. We didn't do like a rookie of the year, and
Mm-mm.
I kind of tied that in with most improved because um,
I
there's
mean, I've got rookie of the year. I know immediately who rookie of the year is in my head.
so I got at number 3 for most improved is Anna J. She came out. She's great. She's got a look. She's only had like 30 matches, something crazy small like that, and she's great. She's got a nice look. She's good on the mic, and she's off to superstardom. Like WWE's gonna try to buy her someday.
And that would be who my rookie of the year would be.
Perfect. So she is essentially my rookie of the year as well.
Mhm.
For most improved is as far as taking like that next step up is Darby Allin for me. He took
Mhm.
from someone that I was interested in, like, okay, he's just a skater punk, to someone that like I legitimately like watching him in his matches. Like
You look forward to his matches.
yes, we're early on. It was like, okay, it's gonna be the same thing, coffin drop over. Now he's starting to be able to work with these guys and tell a better story in the ring. I enjoy watching him. So he's my most improved from just like being a young guy. Now, as far as like a veteran that has completely stepped up his game, a complete elevation, Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, I remember whenever he came back to NXT,
Mm-hmm.
and you sat there, you're like, no,
Right.
that's not Drew McIntyre. He looks like he grew like a foot and a half.
Yes. So
And
he,
apparently he's been taking like testosterone pills or something because he grew a crap ton of hair.
yes. So he's always had this hype around him when he arrived at WWE. When he left, he came back, had some hype, like, oh my God, look at this guy now. Before it was like, he's our future. Like, oh God, look at this look. And then he was a heel for a while. In 2020, starting at the Rumble is boom, where it all
Yeah,
came back together
yeah.
for him. That's just where it just exploded. And yeah, I don't know why they took the title off of him here for whatever reason, but it was kind of dumb. Like he
It was
earned,
a split second decision.
yeah. So whoever's decision was that, it was wrong. Um, he completely elevated his game and just been phenomenal in 2020. So as far as going from like a mid card to a championship level or making like the biggest leap, I go with Drew McIntyre.
See, the thing with Drew is um, WWE has a habit of doing the right thing, but like 3 months too late.
Yep. Yep.
Because Randy Orton absolutely should have won the WWE Championship,
Mm-hmm.
but not at Hell in a Cell.
Right.
Uh, Drew McIntyre should have won it back at Hell in a Cell.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Randy Orton should have won the ambulance match.
Yep. I know you were very adamant that was going to happen, and then you were pretty
Uh,
distraught that it didn't happen because what a beautiful story it would have wrote.
it would have been fantastic. Like he goes to do the Claymore and just flies into the ambulance. That would have been great.
Right.
So my most improved
Mm-hmm.
is it might surprise you a little bit
Okay.
because it's not in a division that's doing very well right now.
Okay.
That would be the AEW women's division.
Right.
So my most improved happens to be someone, the best thing that happened in this person's career
Mm-hmm.
was get injured.
Yes.
That is Britt Baker,
Yep.
Dr. Britt Baker, DMD.
Yep.
She got injured, but they kept her on TV.
They did.
Why they're not doing that with anybody else, I don't know.
Right. Because she, at first, when she went from face to heel, I was like, God, this is
Yes.
horrible.
Oh
Like,
no, I loved it.
no, at first it was like it's like she wasn't comfortable with it. Like
Well, to
she
be fair, she
struggled.
wasn't.
right. She struggled on the mic a little bit, but it's like all of a sudden she hit this groove and she was gone.
Hmm.
But like the
All
first,
that stuff with Tony Schiavone, it
yes,
has me laughing every single time.
yes, and it was like promos seeming nervous, being lost with what you were saying, not being heel. And I'm like, God, this is horrible. Like, this is going to crash and burn. I was wrong. Something happened somewhere. I don't know if it was a pep talk from Adam or what,
Oh, I know exactly what it was.
but somewhere someone punched the gas and she was gone.
Yeah, I mean, Adam was part of it,
Okay.
but the biggest thing is she started picking Chris Jericho's brain.
Okay.
She was like, "Well, what if I do this?" And he'd be
Hmm.
like, "This is a good way, but you need to do it a little bit differently because you
Okay.
really want to do you want to you want to hit it this way instead of this way."
Right.
And that's why her promos just went from fives to eights.
Right. Almost overnight.
Yeah, as soon as she got injured, she was off TV for what, about 2 weeks?
Yeah.
She'd come back and she's the role model.
Right.
And in the wheelchair it says ROLL, the role model. I
Yes.
loved it.
Yes. And another thing I love is I will just go anywhere now, like to the exchange, to the mall, wherever. And I will pick out the wrestling fans now because of her t-shirt with the bloody face.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That shirt is everywhere now.
That's I mean that's almost if AEW's women's division was anywhere near WWE's,
Hmm.
that image would be as iconic as Becky Lynch's bloody face.
Yes. Right.
And it's almost there already
Yes.
because
I
that was
mean,
a turning point.
well,
That was kind of like one of her first matches back after she got hurt, or maybe it was before she got hurt. I don't remember.
I think it was,
It was a long year.
yeah, it was. I want to say it was just before she got hurt.
I, yeah.
Um, but for me, I gotta say it's a step up from Becky Lynch. Now I love Becky Lynch. She's probably I've only got like 2 or 3 female action figures, and Becky Lynch is one of them. So I love her. But I gotta say Brits is better because WWE, when they share that image, the blood's removed. You just see Becky Lynch standing in the stands. The blood's been cleaned up because they want to be rated G. AEW, no, they've got the bloody face everywhere. You see that image on social media. It's on a t-shirt now. I'm
Mm-hmm.
waiting to see it on a bumper sticker.
All right. So let's see. Most improved. How about we do the non wrestler of the year?
Okay.
So I got two of them here. I'll let you go first. I'm gonna be selfish this time.
Okay.
All right.
I struggled with this. I thought about a lot of people, and because her wrestling was more limited in what she's doing now, and it's probably because I'm a huge fan of The Fiend and I've been waiting for it. I'm going with Alexa Bliss, and it's just because in this end of the year window, she hasn't been a wrestler, even though she's a wrestler. There's no one that I could come up with that felt more over the top excited about. Like whenever like I record Raw or SmackDown, I watch it at a late start. I fast forward through a little bit here and there. She's one that gets me to stop every time because I want to see the sweet ass contact lenses. I want to hear the message. I want to hear her laugh.
I love
And
her
I want to,
gloves. This
yes,
this
the
pose
gloves.
right here is fantastic.
It is. It is. And I just think it's awesome. It's something that just was needed because I was kind of bored with her previous character. So I had to go with her. I'm interested though to see who you have to see if it's someone that maybe I did not consider.
I'm honestly I'm glad that you picked Alexa Bliss because
Okay.
I have two people in mind.
Mm-hmm.
One of them is pure non wrestler, One
Okay.
of them is they have wrestled like Alexa Bliss, but
Okay.
you don't think of him as a wrestler right now.
Right. Okay.
So I'll do that one first.
Okay.
That's MVP.
Yes,
The Hurt Business is a beautiful thing.
it is. And
WWE stayed the heck away from it. Let MVP run with it.
yes, I considered that, but because he still wrestles, I kind of said, yeah. So, but if I had to go, if you said no, he's not, I would definitely, yeah. I back you. I support you, Thomas the Professor, on that.
So the pure non wrestler
Mm-hmm.
I went with was Taz.
We know how I feel about Taz.
We do. But I watch AEW Dark,
Right.
and he's a commentator
Mm-hmm.
on AEW Dark, and that's probably something you didn't think about was commentators.
I did. I did.
So I love Taz on the atmosphere between AEW Dark and
Mm-hmm.
AEW Dynamite is so different.
Right.
Taz and Excalibur are just having fun.
Right.
And whenever they mess up, which they do a lot, you can't help but laugh.
Right. Yeah. Like I think it happened on the Brody Lee show. It happened. There was a slip up and something didn't make sense, and like we just started laughing.
One of my favorites was recently, and he's like, we're Team Taz. Uh, we don't get our ass beat. We beat ass. We and he was like, it clicked. He was like, we beat other people's ass. And Excalibur just lost it.
Yeah.
He was like, I think we knew what you meant.
Right. Yeah. You didn't have to backpedal.
Right. Is there anything else that I am missing as far as what has happened since we went on break? I
No.
can't think of anything huge.
No. What? What? We're talking about 2020 still?
Yes. Well, anything that has happened since we took our break. Did I miss something? Well,
We didn't talk about
that
that.
the whole Kenny Omega thing, that's big. Yes. We also didn't talk about that Moose match either. Moose versus Willie Mack
Right.
in that I Quit match. That was
But
really good.
but I mean, yeah, we'll give it.
I'll give you.
There's the clip. There's the clip with the moose and um
Willie Mack.
Willie Mack. There's that clip's everywhere now on social media, just like the finger puppets.
Yeah.
They're everywhere now.
Honestly, I think they ran with that way too quick.
They did.
I didn't like how it all went down. Like that.
No, neither did I.
I didn't watch it live because I had a rough night the night before and
Mm-hmm.
I fell asleep sitting here at my computer. So I woke up just in time to see the last 3 seconds
Uh-huh.
of Dynamite, and I see them, and I was like, whoa, 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 what just happened? And by the time I got my remote to rewind it, it had already gone to the next segment, so I couldn't rewind it. I had to wait an hour to go watch it online.
Oh, dude.
So you were immediately in the Facebook group.
I know. I was geeked.
So you're like, so do we need to grab you an ambulance there, Professor?
Yes. So I'm like freaking out. Like I love the whole idea, how they're building it. I did think it was like on a nice road and they maybe punched the gas a little bit too much. that specific night. They could have done things a little bit differently. Not a Young Bucks fan. I thought that could have came a little bit later, a few weeks later, a month later, pay-per-view, something like that. But as like I'm getting excited and start thinking about of all the possibilities, I see on social media someone post about like how AEW is now working with Impact. Someone's got a picture of three guys that could possibly come together to butt heads with the Bullet Club. John Moxley, Sami Callihan, Lance Archer. Guys, I lost my shit. I screenshot this, sent it to Thomas, sent it to anyone I know, and I was so geeked about it. Is it going to happen? Maybe not.
I can see John Moxley.
Yes. Because, I mean, he's kind of dead center in it right now.
Right.
So, him and Sami Callihan have a history. And Lance Archer just, he's a monster that just needs to be utilized way better. And I think, like, after thinking through this, like, what better platform for him to step up and be part of a, we'll say, main event picture again. So I've been super excited about this. Like, I was excited about the Bullet Club. I know you are a huge Bullet Club fan, but I got super excited about this potential just for this group that could possibly assemble. Even if it's just for a pay-per-view, I'd be super geeked about it.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, I think what we're going to end up seeing now that, things are starting to roll along, what I think we're going to end up seeing is a John Moxley and the Young Bucks teaming up. And I don't want to see that.
Me neither. Me neither.
What I would rather see...
I didn't ever want to see Bret Hart team up with the Rockers, and I don't ever want to see John Moxley team up with the Young Bucks.
Is not so much tag teams. Like, I can see the Dark Order kind of being inserted in this just because of Hangman Page. But I don't necessarily want to see that either.
Right.
The Dark Order versus the Super Elite.
Right.
It doesn't excite me. What excites me is Chris Jericho.
Okay.
John Moxley. Hangman Page.
Yes, I like that too.
Kota Ibushi. Kazuchika Okada. Any number of those bigger guys over in New Japan.
Yeah.
Marty Scurll. I would love for him to join with Kenny Omega.
Right.
I would like to see with the whole New Japan thing going on with John Moxley right now with the U.S. Championship and Kenta. I'd like to see Kenta come into this group also. Jay White, maybe not as much. But I wouldn't be overly upset about it either.
Right.
As long as it was done right.
My immediate caution or hope is they don't NWO it, where they just put everyone in and immediately sink that ship.
Yeah, I mean, the Bullet Club is already an established thing.
Right.
It's been around for a long time.
Long time, yeah.
And they're trying to call it the Elite.
Yes.
Which I'm not sure if that's just because they still don't have a working relationship with New Japan yet. Or that there just won't be one.
Right.
I will be underwhelmed if New Japan does not get into this somehow.
Right. I think it opens up their market so much more if they're able to make it work some fashion. But they will be the party that is smart with it and how it's handled.
Yeah. And I'm speaking of New Japan, that was something that actually just reminded me was obviously was the Kenta and the John Moxley. John Moxley appeared at Wrestle Kingdom. It
Mm-hmm.
was just in a video package,
Right.
but I'm guessing that match is going to happen soon. I don't know when, with him being in the title picture over in AEW.
Right.
Um, Maybe they'll do something on New Japan Strong. Who knows?
Right.
But the big takeaway from New Japan was uh, they have a deal that's bringing New Japan to U.S. television.
That's going to be awesome.
I believe it's with Access,
Mm-hmm.
where Impact is. If that's the case, I don't know if it's just because uh, they want another one along with Impact that's going to maybe draw some more people,
Mm-hmm.
or it's because Tony Khan bought Impact or is buying Impact and taking them to TNT.
Right.
I would love to see Impact on TNT
Mm-hmm.
because Access. Before last year, I'd never even heard of Access TV.
Right. Same here. Every Tuesday, Crystal, my wife, asks me, "Okay, what channel's Impact on?" I've been watching it for 6 months. I don't know. She goes, "Well, what's it called?" I don't know. And then Thomas will say something about Access. I'm like, "That's right. I'll remember that next Tuesday."
Right. I watch it on Twitch, so
Yeah.
that's another platform that we're going to be going on here pretty
Yep.
soon.
Yep.
As soon as we hear more information about that,
Twitchy's going to get on Twitch.
as soon as we hear more and get that AEW video game, you could bet we're going to be playing that online,
Yep.
live streaming.
Yep.
Um, so we'll keep you guys up to date on all the new stuff coming around.
Damn straight.
I might suck at the video game, but it doesn't matter as long as I'm having fun. I
Yeah.
might we might have to muzzle me because I'm one of those gamers that starts cursing at the television.
Ah. I did not picture you for one of those.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I get pretty pissed off. I was playing FIFA the other night, and I was playing online with actual people,
Mm-hmm.
and
I like how
I
you had to
by
add
the
that. I like how you had to add that in there.
by the end of the first 10 minutes, I quit. I quit the game. I was like, nope, I'm done. I'm done. I can't deal with this because I was getting my butt whooped, and it wasn't even close.
Mm-hmm.
Like I try to keep as much possession as I possibly can. That's my game,
Mm-hmm.
and I couldn't get the stupid ball. And then I'd make stupid decisions and give the ball away whenever they would score. And I threw the controller. And I was like, well, it's time to log off.
I'm proud to say I haven't thrown a controller in at least 20 years. At least.
Well, I threw it at my bed, so at least I was smart enough
Yeah,
to
good
do
call
that.
there. Good call there. All right, let's get to some more awards.
Yeah, what do you think we should do now?
Well, let's do some matches of the year.
Okay.
So I'll do 5 and 4, and then if you want to do 5 and 4.
All right.
So the fifth best match according to the Sledgehammer. I know some people didn't like it. I don't care. I loved Edge versus Orton at WrestleMania 36.
Oh, yeah.
I loved it. I know a lot of people, and judging by your face, you didn't like it.
Yeah, I was one of those that did not like that.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was something that's just been missing from WWE. They just needed two legends that just beat the crap out for 45 minutes. I thought it was great.
I think that my view on that match may be a little bit tainted
Okay.
because I the Friday before that, I went into the hospital,
Ah.
uh, and for my transplant. I had
Mm-hmm.
my transplant that weekend, so I was trying to be coherent enough to run my fantasy league and watch this show while I was drugged out of my mind.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a good match. Go back and rewatch it. It might change your mind.
I liked the greatest match ever better than that one.
I would say it's probably in my top 15. I didn't think that it would be able to do any justice to this match, and
The the
even
the fact
afterwards,
that
I'm
they called it the greatest match ever already lowered it down a
yeah,
few notches.
yeah, and I'm being generous by putting it in my top 15. Um, Number 4 for me, Sasha beating Bailey at Hell in a Cell. Great match. I think it even got like somewhere up in the 4 stars this year or something.
I
I
believe
can't
so.
I can't even remember, but I'm pretty sure it was. So
Yeah, I think it was
again,
4.5, 4.25.
yeah. So we have a women's match, which I'm not dogging them. I always talk up the women's division. I love women's wrestling. They got a 4+ star match in WWE.
Yeah, not NXT,
Yeah,
WWE.
WWE pay-per-view, not like Professor said, not NXT, not AEW, not NWA, not WWE. Yeah.
Well, that's actually my number 4 also.
Beautiful. So it was a phenomenal match. What about you, number 5?
My number 5 is the Men's Royal Rumble.
Mm-hmm. I
Brock
ge-
Lesnar just completely destroying the first 15 people that came into the ring,
Yep.
and then Drew McIntyre comes in and just kicks him out with the help of what was it? It was Ricochet, I believe, that like clocked him in the nuts.
Yeah. Yeah. Someone did. I can't remember
I don't
who.
remember who it was. I think it was Ricochet. Um, but it was a great match. It was a
It
great
was.
match, and then I had Roman winning.
Mm-hmm.
Totally had Roman winning, and as when Drew McIntyre won, I went crazy. I marked
Right.
out like
Yeah.
crazy. Just watching a lot of the all of the news YouTube channels that I watch are all British.
Right.
I don't know why. Just the ones I found that I find entertaining. And some of their reactions were hilarious because that was you just didn't expect it. Number one, number two, that was the first UK born winner
Right.
of the Royal Rumble, and then the first UK born champion in
Mm-hmm.
WWE history was Drew McIntyre.
Yep.
How crazy is that?
Yeah, and I mean, for me, I was kind of shook a little bit because I was still confused. Like, when did heel McIntyre become face McIntyre?
WWE is not very good at
No, they're not.
transitioning.
Like, I was confused. Like, I know I missed a little bit, but when did that happen? So, yeah.
Okay, so my number 3
Mm-hmm.
was at AEW Full Gear,
Yep.
the number one contendership match between Hangman Adam Page and Kenny Omega.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful match. There's nothing really more that you can say. And the crazy part is it left you wanting more.
Yes.
Uh, at that same pay per view is my number 2.
Okay.
That would be the tag team championship match, FTR versus the Young Bucks,
Mm-hmm.
and the whole Kenny Omega and Hangman Page storyline bled into that too,
Yes.
because they started at what whose brilliant idea was it to put Hangman Adam Page against Kenny Omega in the opening match?
Right.
And I don't know how many stars that Omega and Page got, but I know it was close to that FTR Young Bucks match.
Right.
But I enjoyed the FTR Young Bucks match more just because of all the callbacks
Mm-hmm.
to tag teams past.
Right. Yeah, that was I absolutely love that.
And the final nail in the coffin was I think it was Cash Wheeler who goes to the top rope. He went to unfamiliar territory, and
Yep.
that's how they lost.
Yep.
All right.
So
I'm
I
interested to see your next ones here.
okay, so my number three, I think I have a typo as far as the event. I have the Page and Omega versus Young Bucks at Full Gear.
Yeah, that was Revolution.
Revolution. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. So, fix that. So, that was my number three. It was a phenomenal match. Um, really is the only way the Young Bucks winning's ever going to get into mine was, in a match with FTR or Page and Omega. So, great match. Number two, again, we have Page and Omega, as the professor set it all out with FTR. And then, hands down, I love tag team wrestling. So you probably even thought I might go AEW or tag team wrestling with my number one. Nope. Finn and O'Reilly take over 31.
Okay.
28 minutes plus of great wrestling. Beat the crap out of each other.
It
I
was a brutal, and it ended early. That's why they did it
yes.
again,
Yes.
because Finn Balor's jaw just got shattered.
Yeah, it was completely shattered. So um I went back and checked today for this, obviously, and said, oh, it was only 28 minutes. Like crap. Like I thought it was at least 35, 40 minutes. Nope, it was clocked at like 28 minutes and change. So great match, and it led to other things, led to great stories with the jaw. Had to have his mouth wired shut, fix some teeth. So I thought it was a hands down great match.
Yeah, you almost think that NXT championship is kind of cursed
It
lately.
is.
Um, Keith Lee won, and then he lost it 3 weeks later to Karrion Cross in a freaking.
Yep.
It was a heck of a match, but again, it got cut short because Cross got hurt in the middle of the match, and then he had
Yep.
to relinquish the title the next week.
Right.
And they didn't want to do it again whenever Balor got hurt.
Right. Yeah.
Now Cross is back,
Right.
and hands down best entrance in any promotion
Oh
was
yeah,
Karrion
absolutely.
Cross.
Yeah. Why would that be, Professor?
Well,
Any specific reason?
there's multiple reasons.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Scarlet Bordeaux is not the biggest reason, though.
Oh, I'm
No,
shocked with that.
second biggest. No,
Second
it's
biggest.
just
Okay.
whenever he gets into the ring,
Uh-huh.
when she's doing the mouthing, the fall and pray,
Yeah.
and then the lights start going crazy, and he's like, "Ah!" And I'm just like, yes. Like the adrenaline is going crazy.
Right, yeah.
You're like, yes, that's the entrance that I want. I want to come to the ring like that.
Right.
All right, so I have made it fairly well known what my number one match of the year was, and
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
um, Hangman and Kenny Omega versus the Young Bucks at Revolution.
Yep.
I went back and I watched that match again,
Mm-hmm.
And first of all, it's just so weird to watch with so many fans and to know that that was still in 2020.
Right.
But the psychology behind that match is just crazy.
Right.
The whole Hangman and Omega stuff has
Mm-hmm.
just been psychological warfare with the fans all year.
Right. Yeah. All the assuming and guessing and hoping. Yeah. But yeah, I completely agree with your number one, because looking at my number one and my number two, yeah, number two, I went with FTR. I'm a big FTR fan, and that was the event where they paid homage to all the previous tag teams. So they did the Heart Attack, and that was huge for me.
Yeah, Young Bucks did the 3D.
Yeah, the 3D, and I drawn a blank on some of the other ones that we geeked out about. And then maybe if Finn Balor doesn't break his jaw, maybe this match isn't as high up for me. It's just one of those things where someone gets hurt and keeps wrestling, and you keep telling that story that does something. And you had two great athletes with Kyle O'Reilly and Finn Balor in that ring.
Yeah, that was a great
And
match.
yeah, so those two, like, I think my top three and your top three are all matches that everyone needs to watch if they haven't watched it.
Yeah, yeah. Now, I have a couple honorable mentions.
Okay.
Um, the fight pit
Okay. Yep.
between Timothy Thatcher and Matt Riddle,
Yep.
because he still had his first name. Why they got rid of it, I don't know. And the um, special guest referee of Kurt Angle.
Yeah.
What more could you want from that match? Timothy Thatcher lost his two front freaking teeth,
Yeah. Yeah.
and now he talks with a lisp.
Yeah.
Um, and oh, my brain just had a brain fart.
Uh-oh. See, you should have got that cherry Pepsi. You should have
I
went with the
know.
Mountain Dew.
I should have. I should have. Okay, so the other one was on NXT UK. Uh,
Oh. Yep.
Walter versus Ilya Dragunov.
Mm-hmm.
Um, just a brutal match. Uh, I don't think it would have been as good with fans in attendance,
Mm-hmm.
because you didn't get that of
Yeah.
Walter's chops, and I didn't do it justice by any means.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, I was actually in I don't want to say a dispute or argument or anything. There was a heated discussion on a Facebook page about the match of the year, and that was one of the candidates. And someone called me out because I had said my preference was Finn and Kyle's match at Takeover 31, and he's like, "Dude, did you watch it?" And I was like, "Yeah," and he goes, "You need to go back and watch it again because you're wrong." So
you, see, that's the thing. That's the thing. You can't be wrong about an opinion.
right,
And that's a blurry line.
right.
Fact and opinion is a very blurry line
Mm-hmm.
whenever it comes to this stuff, and there's some other things too that we're not going to get into. But
Right.
um, that one thing that I would really stress to you guys is, your favorite match could have been Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley, which
Right.
that was a good
It was a
match.
good match. Yeah. It made the top 25 for WWE. I think it was actually top 15.
Um, but that's your opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to tell you you're wrong. I'm going to tell you why I think mine is a better option, but I'm not going to tell you
Right.
that you're wrong.
But you may also ask them to explain why
Exactly.
that match
Yeah.
means so much to them. As why I had to tell everyone why is the FTR match number 2. I'm a huge FTR fan.
Yeah.
I'm a mark.
Which honestly, I'm kind of surprised that the Rhea Ripley Charlotte Flair match isn't in my top 5. It
Yeah.
probably would be if she would have won.
Right.
But she didn't. It was a bad decision. But it did get us a fantastic year from Io Shirai, so I can't say it
Yeah,
was all bad.
right.
So what about our your feud of the year?
My feud of the year. Let's see. Feud of the year. I did three of them, all
I
for
did too.
different reasons. So I'll just fly through them quickly. Number three was Moxley and Kingston. And for
Okay.
me, it was another one because Moxley got to be Moxley in the matches, but we seen Kingston go from really good on the mic. He threw a lot of passion into this feud. And when he came out, like my respect was already here for him, which it looks like it's not a lot, but I'm saying it is.
He's
And
just
man,
short.
yeah, when he came out, oh my God, Kingston, yeah, it was through the roof. He did phenomenal work on those promos.
Hmm.
Number two, Bailey and Sasha. It probably should be number one on my list, but you'll understand why number one is number one. Bailey and Sasha did a great job most of 2020 being partners and just healing it up all over the place and being them. But man, when they came to fight, they threw down. Um, I've got it blacked out now, but their Hell in a Cell match was it? Yeah, number four
Number
for me.
four. Yeah.
Yeah, that was great. It was a great match. So, a great feud that produced a great match. Next one is, even though it was short lived, Edge and Orton. Because,
That one's not done. I don't think that one's done.
no, one, because it's not done.
Hmm.
Two is because there's history to it, going back like 10 years
Hmm.
plus. So there's history to it. It only came to a subtle slowdown because of an injury.
Two. Like that's Edge is
Yeah,
not doing so hot right now as far as the injuries are concerned.
right. So for me, they put up two top 10 matches for WWE in 2020, and they only had two pay-per-view matches. For me, that because it could have been even better, through the roof, if Edge didn't get hurt.
Well, they might have drug it out a little bit too long though too.
Yeah, well, they do that.
A lot.
Yeah, as we said, Strowman.
Oh heck, just the Street Profits and the Viking Raiders
Oh yeah, that too.
and Seth Rollins and the
Yeah.
Mysterios. All right, so I have two.
Okay.
Um, my number two is Hangman and the Elite, not just Kenny Omega, the entire
Yep.
Elite.
Okay.
Um, and again, that's not done yet.
No, it's just starting.
And then number one is Bailey and Sasha.
Mm-hmm.
There's not much more we can say about that.
No,
Bailey
it's
Bailey and Sasha was a great feud. WWE actually took the time to tell the story,
right.
which they never do.
Yeah, normally things are rushed. Normally you don't get four and a half star, 5-star matches, and those two women, they kick butt in 2020.
Oh yeah, just again, I hate to bring up SummerSlam again, but they had Bailey versus Asuka and Sasha versus Asuka. And both of those matches were awesome.
They were, they were.
So I think that actually is a good spot to do our number two men's and women's.
Okay, so I would like to go first since I did not do my number three women's. And my number three women's, I believe, was one of yours, Dr. Britt Baker.
No, I did not have her in my top five.
Oh, well,
She was my uh,
honorable
most
mention.
improved.
Okay. So I have her because, like I had mentioned earlier, she went from, I'll say, a bumbling idiot in the first couple promos as a heel to just boom. And most of her improvement was on the mic.
Oh yeah. Oh
She's
yeah.
always been really good in the ring, but her mic skills completely changed my views on her as her having a bright future. Before I'm like, she's dead on arrival. Like, this is garbage. And then
That
just like what you said with Jericho, it clicked and took off. So
the waiting room is one of the best things on Dark.
right.
I'm so glad they put it on Dynamite this week.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's probably gonna go straight back to Dark again, and I don't want
It
that to happen. I want it to
I
stay.
I think when we see it on Dynamite, it's going to be because of the guest like Cody or the marquee guys. It's going to be bumped over.
Right.
Um.
Number
So
two, you said number two and number three were kind of pretty even, right?
yes. Um. No, that was 4 and 5. So for me, I'll go to two for the men's. I have Kenny Omega, had a beautiful 2020. I mean, the dude's phenomenal in the ring. He tells a story from his entrance to what he writes up for the announcer to say every week is just pure gold. So,
North Carolina.
Carolina.
I love how the crowd is saying it now too.
Yeah. So, I mean, and that has nothing to do with all my Carolina Panthers stuff back here, guys. I promise. Kenny Omega earned, if he wins wrestler of the year for 2020, I do not argue it. I'm glad Moxley got it, but if he won it, he earned it. Now for the women's, 1 and 2 is a toss-up. You're not wrong either way. So number 1 and 2, Sasha and Bailey. 1 or 2, you can mix and match them. It don't matter for me. That's kind of through anything that those two's pulled together. If 1 or 2, I think one website had awarded Bailey the Woman of the Year, another one Sasha.
Right.
I would go.
I put Sasha at number three, so
Right.
they're all up there.
Yeah, they're all up there. I would lean towards Bailey just because she took her heel game to another level. I would likely put her just ahead of Sasha because now we have face Sasha, and as you already talked about, not a good work for Sasha to be a face. Doesn't work. So I would give the nod to Bailey just because she's the heel. And then I'll save my number one men's for last.
All right. So we'll do that the next. That'll be the very last thing we do is
Yep.
the number one. So my number two for the women is Asuka.
Mm-hmm.
Again, like you already said, uh, and like I just said, she
Yeah.
had two fantastic matches in one pay per view,
Right.
one night. If there was one constant that was all year, it was Asuka.
Right. Asuka, good matches, pretty good stories. They can't screw Asuka up too much. Some of the stories make you scratch your head, but good matches.
Yeah, I mean, she comes from the Japanese
Mm-hmm.
school of wrestling, so they focus more on in ring stuff.
Right.
But whenever, if there was an MVP for the COVID era or the no fans era, it was
Yeah.
Asuka.
Hands down.
Because whenever they didn't have anybody in the around the ring
Mm-hmm.
and the Thunderdome wasn't a thing, Asuka would come out and do commentary, and you didn't understand a word she was saying, but it
Right.
didn't matter. It was just entertaining as hell.
Right. Yeah. It's better than anything Michael Cole's going to say.
Like Byron and Byron Saxton and Corey Graves, they're like, "Oh yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about." And
Yeah.
they're just like, "Yeah, sure you do."
Right.
All right. My number two for the men's is Drew McIntyre. Again, he hit the ground running at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Um, WWE doesn't know how to transition very well, which
Nope.
that's that's not on him.
Right.
He's done fantastic this whole year. Um, and that's why I put him ahead of John Moxley.
Hmm.
They're both champions, which is fine. Over on SmackDown, they were kind of hot shot in the title,
Yeah.
so we're not going to worry about that.
Nope.
Roman's new gimmick, I'm excited for it, but
Yeah.
because he was gone for so long, that's why he wasn't in my top five.
Right.
Drew McIntyre had the title pretty much all year, and
Hmm.
he only lost it for what it was 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah. Two weeks, I think. Which
Um,
was one of those head scratchers that WWE does, where it's like, okay,
yeah,
what was the reasoning?
there was no. The
Yeah.
point was is that they wanted to give everybody what they wanted 3 weeks late or 3 months late.
Right. Yeah. Always late to the party. All right. What I'm interested in for your response are the promo or promos of the year. What you got, Professor?
All right, so I've got one that's kind of funny
Uh huh.
that really like made me laugh because I watched it again today and I was just dying.
Mm-hmm.
And that was whenever our truth came out uh, and made Brock Lesnar just lose it in the middle of the
Yes.
ring. And things like,
I love our truth.
I can throw you over the top rope, Paul Heyman. And
Yes.
and Brock Lesnar just loses it.
Yes.
He's like, I'm not in the match, you idiot. Brock Lesnar is in the match. He's like, oh, well, you hear it here first. I'm officially undeclaring
Yes.
for the Royal Rumble.
God, I love our truth. He's awesome.
Yeah, him and I know a lot of people probably won't know it, but Toru Yano over in New Japan. He's
Mm-hmm.
been doing a lot of stuff now with this King of Pro Wrestling thing,
Okay.
and he just finds a way to win. And it's the dumbest crap too. Like
Uh-huh.
he had a match, I think it was against Kenta actually, and he duct taped him to the ring entrance. And he ran back to the ring and dude got counted out. That's great.
Uh I yeah.
So, but as far as the actual what I think the promo of the year was is
Uh-huh.
hashtag not my champion by
Mm-hmm.
MJF.
Yeah.
Um, I said it when it happened. I was captivated.
Mm-hmm.
Is MJF an asshole?
Yep.
Yes. But boy, you made him. He made you believe every single one of those words.
Yep.
I loved it.
Yep.
Best one. I said
Yeah.
it when it happened, and that was in what, June, July.
Yeah.
It was crazy. What about you? Now, this is one that I've been pretty interested to hear from you too.
Okay, so hands down, my favorite specific promo. I try not to get too political because I don't want to go one way or the other, make anyone mad. So I'm kind of standoffish. But MJF's "We Deserve Better." We had just had a train wreck for a presidential debate, and he delivers this.
Mm-hmm. So the same one. The same
Yeah,
one.
yeah, perfect. It,
It had timing. It had pop culture reference.
yes. So I am completely frustrated by the two men that are going to be running this country. and he delivers this at a time that we needed the promo, the speech to make life better.
And then
MJF gave that to us.
about a couple months later, they did the Jericho and Orange Cassidy debate,
Yes,
and that
yes.
was good too.
It was.
Like Orange Cassidy didn't say nothing, and then all of a sudden
Yeah,
he goes on this freaking rant about global warming.
right. So he's funny and smart. Okay. Now, as far as just like promo of the year, that's not like one specific promo, anything Eddie Kingston was amazing in 2020. I would listen to some of them over again because MJF is a dick in most of his promos. That's him. Eddie Kingston is just this badass street fight guy, but when he talks, he has got passion oozing from every orifice. He is so passionate with his promos, and that is something you don't see anywhere in WWE, period. No. That's all scripted. This stuff that's coming out of his mouth is for his love of pro wrestling. And even though he was feuding against my boy Jon Moxley, I didn't care. I loved his promos.
He made
they
that
were awesome.
Match.
He did.
Like I wasn't interested in the Jon Moxley versus Eddie Kingston match, the I Quit match. I was like,
yeah,
well, they're doing an I Quit match on WWE, and then I think they were doing another one with Impact, and I'm like, all right, I'm over all these I Quit matches. But boy, Eddie Kingston pulled you into that match.
He did.
He inserted the emotion.
Yeah.
Which actually kind of goes into my gimmick of the year.
All right.
Which is Eddie Kingston. Just him being Eddie Kingston.
Right.
I've brought light to it before on being the elite through like the last couple months of the year.
Yeah, yeah.
I would just hand him something and say, do a promo.
Yeah, do a promo on this big pen.
Right.
Yeah.
And he would make you feel like, man, he really hates that freaking pen.
Right, yeah. All right, so for me, gimmick of the year, The Fiend.
Oh yeah, I didn't expect that one at all.
Yeah, so I mean, I've loved Bray Wyatt since the Wyatt family was in NXT. It just kind of when you feel like, man, this Bray Wyatt thing's going to go south, like they're going to just continue to let him go down the toilet. The Fiend thing happens and it just kind of resurrects him. And I don't know if it ended the year this way, but the Fiend was like the largest or highest selling pro wrestler in merchandise this year. So that's amazing. You know, that some ugly ass dude in a mask and this dark and demented's the top seller for WWE, and it's not Roman Reigns, it's not John Cena, it's not Hulk Hogan, you know, it's not these pretty boy, you know, golden boys of the industry. It's this new dark demonic guy that is amazing on the mic.